Hello and good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk About Us. I'm Zach, and today we are covering a story that the left either isn't covering, didn't want you to hear, doesn't align with their message that they're trying to get out. We are using Fox News as our source today. Fox News has an average bias rating of right, 2 mixed factuality ratings. It is owned by Fox Corporation, the Murdoch family, and Rupert Murdoch. And as always, with Fox News, I will always remind you, it was determined in court that they are not, in fact, a news organization, but an entertainment organization. Let's get to our story. Karine Jean-Pierre leaves briefing after Doocy questions Lebanon funding during hurricane season. You can't call a question you don't like misinformation, Doocy said, by Hannah Grossman. Okay. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre got into a heated exchange with Fox News Channel's Peter Doocy over the White House sending aid to Lebanon during the hurricane season, which has had devastating effects on North Carolina. Harris pledged Saturday to send $157 million of additional assistance to Lebanon while Israel attacks Hezbollah infrastructure and targets in the country. Also, to add to that, in their attacks, they are 100% killing a bunch of innocent Lebanese civilians. It's getting bad over there. Harris argued the country was facing an increasingly dire humanitarian situation. Doocy asked Jean-Pierre Monday about the Biden administration asking Congress for approval to fund Small Business Association disaster loans to help areas hit by Hurricane Helene, but not to send funds to a foreign country. On this issue of funding, the administration has money to send to Lebanon without Congress coming back, but Congress does have to come back to approve money to send to people in North Carolina. Do I have that right? Doocy said. The president and the vice president has had a robust whole of government response to this, more than $200 million for the disaster help, Jean-Pierre responded, adding that people want to do disinformation and misinformation, which is dangerous because then when folks on the ground hear that, they may not want to ask for the help they need that is there for them. Right. So if she said, actually, we've given $200 million for this thing that you're asking about, and then you continue to ignore the question, you're not really asking the question genuinely, are you? You're just being a little troll about it. But President Biden is fond of saying, show me your budget and I will tell you what you value, Doocy said. If he's got money for people in Lebanon right now without Congress having to come back, what does it say about his values? There's not enough money right now for people in North Carolina who need it. That's not misinformation. Actually, it is. Actually, your whole premise of the question is misinformation, sir, Jean-Pierre responded as the two engaged in a heated back and forth. I wouldn't call it heated. We're going to watch the video here in a second, but it's definitely a conversation. Doocy asked whether the president's letter to Congress saying there's not enough money for SBA disaster loans was misinformation. No, the way you're asking me the question is misinformation. There is money that we are allocating to the impacted areas, which there is, $200 million, and there's money to help people who truly need it. There are survivors who need the funding, I don't know why they wrote that twice. I don't think she said it twice, but I go back and watch it. There are survivors who need the funding, and it's there, she said. You can't call a question you don't like misinformation, Doocy said. Okay, just repeat it. You continuously being a troll. All right. No, what you're asking me is why Congress needs to come back and do their job. That's what you're asking me. Congress needs to come back and do their job and provide extra assistance, extra funding for the disaster relief fund. That's what Congress needs to do. She responded, you may not want that, but that's okay. That's what the president wants, and that's what the vice president wants. Jean-Pierre then stormed out of the briefing room. Yo! She stormed out, did she? She stormed out. Okay, sure. Sure, we'll go with that. Sure. The administration has been accused of mismanaging funds after Homeland Security's Alejandro Mayorkas said Wednesday FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season. Critics on social media were quick to slam Harris for touting the foreign aid to Lebanon, arguing that many North Carolina residents are struggling to recover from Hurricane Helene. First off, Harris is not touting the money they're gonna send to Lebanon. Harris is literally just the announcer for that. She is literally just the announcer. She is the VP, not the president. Please learn the difference. Kamala is touting giving money to... Again, Kamala is touting giving money to the people of Lebanon while stiff-arming the humanitarian crisis in North Carolina. Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, this is why. It's from Greg Abbott. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said on X. This is Kamala's Katrina. I'm sorry. Who was president during Katrina? Who actively bungled that whole situation? Oh, yeah, Bush. Bush did that. Also, Kamala's not the president. Could this be any more tone deaf? We have Americans suffering and in danger right now after the hurricane, and this is what Kamala has to announce. And this is what Kamala has to announce: America first. Nick Langworth. Okay. Again, not the president. Literally her job to announce stuff. Alright. And only announce stuff. The controversial tweet comes as the Biden administration has turned to face backlash for its handling of Helene, with former President Trump calling the federal response to the disaster the most incompetently managed storm as the federal level has ever seen before. I will once again remind you, Bush existed. Okay, so let's go up here.
No, the way you're asking me the question is misinformation. There is money that we are allocating to the impacted areas, and there's money there to help people who truly need it. There are survivors who need the funding, and it's there.
But you don't like misinformation.
I said that, I actually said we have the money available to help survivors of Hurricane Helene and also Hurricane Milton. Now there's going to be a shortfall, right? Because we don't know how bad Hurricane Milton is going to be. And so we're going to need additional funding. That's
exactly what I just asked about. And you said it was misinformation.
What you're asking me is why Congress needs to come back and do their job. That's what you're asking me. Congress needs to come back and do their job and provide
Talking to him straightforwardly, seriously, packing up her things very gently, and walking away.
That's what this president wants, and that's what the vice president wants. Thanks, everybody.
Right? Did that look like she stormed out? I don't think so. The other thing we're going to cover is directly from FEMA. All of the stuff that's been going on with that. Rumor, FEMA only provides loans to disaster survivors. This is false. In most cases, FEMA grants do not have to be paid back. There are some less common situations in which you may have to pay FEMA back if you receive duplicate benefits from insurance or a grant from another source. Okay. Another rumor, applying multiple times for disaster assistance will speed up the process of being approved. People need to apply for assistance one time per household. Do not resubmit or create a new application during the disaster assistance process. Rumor, the FAA is restricting access to the airspace for Helene rescue and recovery operations. The FAA is not restricting access for recovery operations. The FAA is coordinating closely with state and local officials to make sure everyone is operating safely in crowded and congested airspace. FEMA distributes aid based on demographic characteristics. No. FEMA provides assistance to survivors regardless of race, color, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, religion, age, disability, English proficiency, or economic status. Rumor, FEMA is in the process of confiscating Helene survivor property. Okay, this one's just blatantly stupid. I don't know who came up with this, but if you believe this, you're a moron. If I apply for disaster resistance and my land is deemed unlivable, my property will be seized. FEMA cannot seize your property or land. Applying for disaster assistance does not grant FEMA or federal government authority or ownership of your property or land. When you apply for disaster assistance, a FEMA inspector may be sent to verify the damage on your home. This is one of the many factors reviewed to determine what kind of disaster assistance you may be eligible for. If the results of the inspection deem your home uninhabitable, that information is only used to determine the amount of FEMA assistance you may receive to make your home safe, sanitary, and functional. Another rumor, FEMA is no longer accepting applications for housing assistance. FEMA is still accepting assistance applications throughout all the areas affected by Helene. Another rumor, FEMA does not have money to provide disaster assistance for Helene. FEMA has enough money right now for immediate response and recovery needs if you are affected by Helene. Do not hesitate to apply for disaster assistance. Another rumor. FEMA is asking for cash donations and turning away volunteers. This is false. FEMA does not ask for or generally accept cash donations or volunteers for disaster response because they are a federally funded organization. Your tax dollars fund FEMA. We do encourage people who want to volunteer with or donate cash to reputable, voluntary, or charitable organizations such as Red Cross. The funding for FEMA disaster response was diverted to support international efforts or border-related issues. This is false. No money is being diverted from disaster response needs. FEMA's disaster response efforts and individual assistance is funded through the Disaster Relief Fund, which is a dedicated fund for disaster efforts. Disaster Relief Fund money has not been diverted to other non-disaster related efforts. Is this the last rumor? Okay, well, this is the last rumor I'm going to read. I'm not. There's 2 pages. All right, I'll see what's on the second page. FEMA is confiscating donations for survivors. Oh man, absolute stupidity on display here. Okay, rumors about FEMA turning away donations, stopping trucks or vehicles with donations, confiscating and seizing supplies often spread after a disaster. These are false. FEMA does not take donations and or food from survivors or voluntary organizations, again, because they are a federally funded program through your tax dollars. Donations of food, water, or other goods are handled by voluntary agencies who specialize in storing, sorting, cleaning, and distributing donated items. What's on the second page? How many more dumbass rumors are there? Just one, okay. FEMA will only provide $750 to disaster survivors to support their recovery. This is false. This is a type of assistance that you may be approved for soon after you apply, called Serious Needs Assistance. It is an upfront, flexible payment to help cover essential items like food, water, baby formula, breastfeeding supplies, medication. So basically any immediate needs. Yeah. Cool. So the reason the left isn't covering this is because it's a joke. It is quite simply a joke. Speaker Mike Johnson has all the ability in the world right now to solve the situation that's going on in their states, in Republican states. He has all the time in the world right now, but you know what? Congress is on recess. They haven't had to wake yet. They need nap time, okay? Yeah, the left isn't covering this because it's garbage, okay? So if you are affected by Hurricane Helene, and if you are going to be affected by Milton, first of all, get the hell out. Do not stay there. Do not sit and wait and think you can ride it out. Get out. What else can I say? Also, yes, there's 200 million already out there for Hurricane Helene. So get it while you can, because it looks like Republicans in Congress aren't willing to help you. Like, sorry, that's just the fucking ugly, gross truth of it. Yeah. Man, I got pissed at the end of this. You all have a good day. Or try to. And if you can afford it, donate to the Red Cross. Try and donate to local charities and groups that are helping the people in those affected areas. You'll have a good rest of your day.